This is Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in Sunday playoff edition, Easter edition here of Ready, Set, Bet on VSiN. I don't know about you, Aaron, but my wife currently celebrating with some mimosas out there. So we'll see what happens after this 3-hour show and what exactly I walk into. But we are absolutely loaded here. We've got Scott Bondar joining us here shortly. He's going to talk about a bunch of props in both the MLB and the NHL. We've got John McKechnie and Sierra Clark coming in for the NFL draft. Dennis Bernstein joining us around the NHL playoffs as well. All of that coming up a little bit later on the show. But much like yesterday, Aaron, we got to jump right into it here. We'll talk about the games yesterday, but we have to kick it off with the Grizzlies taking on the Thunder. Game 1 tipping in just 10 minutes from Oklahoma City. The best team in the NBA regular season will start their playoff push here. They're currently laying 13 against the Grizzlies. This was 11.5. It's been bet all the way up to 13.5. We did see some Grizzlies money come in at that point. The total starting to tick up again, much like yesterday's AM game, early game there. Now sitting at 231.5. Thunder minus 1,000 to win. You can get plus 650s. You think the Grizzlies shock the world and take game 1. Any plays from you here, game 1, Grizzlies and Thunder?
I just sprinkled a little light on the under. I think that's kind of the play for me to start this thing. We saw it go under the first game of yesterday, went under in a game that was kind of hot early and then kind of fell apart late. And that's what I kind of see here. I do think, the Grizzlies will hang with the Thunder for a little bit, try to make a game of it early, but I see the Thunder pulling away. I don't want to lay 13 points, so I just don't want to do that in a playoff game. But what I think the under makes sense is because I think the Thunder will continue to score, or I think the Grizzlies might go cold, just like what we saw yesterday with the Pacers and the Bucks to open it up. So I started off with a light play on the under here. Excited to get this series going. I don't think the Grizzlies have much of a chance. And as an Oklahoma City supporter, just kind of hope they take care of business and get rested up and ready for the next series.
Yeah, this kind of feels like a rust versus rest situation for the Grizzlies. Is the rest they're going to have down the stretch be able to benefit them? I'm sorry, for the Thunder, is the rest that they had down the stretch going to benefit them? Or is this Grizzlies team, which just coming off a must-win game, is that going to help propel them to play well early? I ended up playing a little bit on the Thunder first half team total over 60. I do think this is a situation where the Thunder's offense gets rolling. So I'm willing to take a little bit of a shot on the team total Thunder over 60 first half here. I kind of agree with you. If this is a blowout in the first half, I do like that second half under look. We'll talk a little bit about the Lakers and the Timberwolves game. That game came to a screeching halt, just 40 points in the fourth quarter after we did see the Grizzlies take control of that. So I'm sorry, the Timberwolves take control of that. So a lot of different spots there where I think you can learn something from yesterday's game. So we've got Grizzlies Thunder here tipping off about 10 minutes. I'm going to take the Thunder team total over in the first half. Aaron, on the under for the game, you can get that as high as 231.5 out there if you'd like to play that under. Now, let's rewind a little bit, Aaron. Let's talk about yesterday and what we saw both on the court and on the ice. We had 6 different series that kicked off the early game. The Pacers end up rolling the Bucks. Giannis puts up 36 and 12, but it's not enough. The Bucks struggle from three-point range, just 9 for 37 from 3. Any takeaways here from that Pacers-Bucks game?
Well, it's interesting because we talked about how Giannis gets his when he takes on the Pacers, right? We had a guest that came on and he said that as well. And so that was kind of the worry. Giannis has his game, right? I mean, that's a great game from him in game 1. And not only does it not matter, Mike, it wasn't even a game. And like you said, we were kind of watching in the background as we were doing the show. And after about the first quarter and a half, the game pretty much was over. The Pacers just pulled away and there was nothing to really see. So we're going to have to see the role players for the Bucks play a much better game in game 2 and onward for this to be much of a series. So that was kind of my takeaway. If Giannis has 20 points, you're sitting here going, hey, he's going to get better. But is it a fixable problem when the role players don't play quite as well? That's going to be my kind of big question mark after watching game 1.
It felt like they needed Dame, and we'll see if we get him in game 2 or game 3, but he can really help out from a secondary scoring option, which just didn't seem to come through for them there. The next game that we want to talk about here, the Pistons take on the Knicks, and I have the over in the series. Through 3 quarters, the Pistons are up 8. It looks like they have no issue playing with this Knicks team. I was excited to see if they could pull this off. And we see a 21-0 Knicks run in the fourth quarter there. The Knicks end up covering. The final is 123-112. The game ends up going over. You had a Knicks -7, so you were happy about that 21-0 run. after seeing this, now the Pistons up to plus 450 in the series. Any interest in Detroit? Do you think this is replicatable for them?
I'm not really sure what to do with this one because it's such an odd thing to see a 21-0 run to end the game. And I kind of thought that's kind of what the start of the game would feel like. I just felt like the Knicks would get out to a hot start. And that's why I laid the 7 points. I was thinking, okay, they'll get out to a hot start and they'll just kind of hang on and keep them at bay. And it was the exact opposite. And honestly, Somich, yesterday was a roller coaster day for me. This one included, like you pointed out. And I was sitting there going, I've kind of given up on covering the 7. And I don't know that the Knicks are going to win this game. And I don't even know if it's going to be that close. And then they go on that run, and then there it is. So it's weird vibes after the first game. I don't really know what to make of this series. I still lean the Knicks, so I don't really want the Pistons right now. Let's watch game 2. Let's kind of see what happens there. And then I may jump into this as from a series perspective, just depending on the price. So kind of just an up and down, hard to figure out game 1.
Yeah, really, really interesting. Cunningham actually didn't play as well as he could have. Ends up 8 for 21 from the field. You saw the role players hit threes for Detroit. They shoot almost 47% from 3-point range. This is going to be one of those games where if this is a 4-2, 4-3 series, the Pistons look back on and feel like they let one go. That you got to, like, when you have the opportunity to win game 1 on the road, you need to take advantage of it. And this younger Pistons team just not able to do so in the Garden there. Now, the game of the day, which was pretty unfortunate for yours truly here, the Nuggets end up beating the Clippers in overtime, 112-110. The game actually goes under, even though it went to overtime. The Clippers had a 15-point lead at one point in the first half. The offense looked absolutely unstoppable, and then everything kind of ground to a halt. We saw a 10-0 and 8-0 run in the second quarter for a Denver Nuggets team that has now come back from a 15-point deficit 8 times in the playoffs since 2019. So they've done this before. We had the full experience of Russell Westbrook in this game where he hits a monster 3 and then makes 2 absolutely boneheaded plays while closing this game. But the Nuggets able to outlast the Clippers in overtime. Congratulations, Clippers backers, plus the 2.5. Miracle 3-pointer with 0.9 seconds in OT cuts this game from 5 down to 2. So cash the Clippers tickets. But man, if we got this one, if the Clippers were able to win game 1 in Denver, I would have been feeling great about my series bets. Now you can get the Clippers coming back at plus 130 in the series. What'd you think of this one, and any interest in a plus money price now on the Clippers to win this series?
Well, look, the Clippers kind of dominated the game and lost, and you could take it good or you could take it bad. And kind of like you said, you're on the road. You should have won a game and you didn't. Boy, in a 7-game series, is that going to come back to bite you? I would be a little bit nervous about that. However, you do look at the flip side. If you're going to look at the positive, they went into Denver. They did everything but win the game, right? So they kind of showed, hey, we're probably the better team. But boy, in a game that, or a series, that we think is going to be tight, oh, is that going to come back to bite you? I got to ask real quick, because I asked before the show ended yesterday, are you going to be nervous if the Clippers lose game 1? And you said no, but the way they lost it, does that add extra nerves to all that money you've got tied into the Clippers now?
No. I mean, this took a just stone cold 3-pointer from Aaron Gordon, a stone cold 3-pointer from Russell Westbrook. Jamal Murray hit an incredible 3-pointer. All of those happened late in the fourth quarter, or else the Clippers win this game. And they had the ball up 1 late, and Kawhi Leonard turned it over. Based on the way this played out, if they're going to close the series with Russell Westbrook, I'm happy to take my chances with the Clippers team that I think will win at home. The question is, can they get 1 or 2 here on the road? So still like the Clippers. If you don't have a Clippers bet, I like the plus 130. I've got enough tied up, so I'm not looking to play it back at plus 130, but I do think this was a positive sign for the Clippers. I don't think you see all those role players on Denver hit those big time threes. And that transitions us to the late game here. The Minnesota Timberwolves go in and just beat the pants off the Los Angeles Lakers here. Final 117-95. The T-Wolves really in control of this one after that first quarter. They won the second, third, and fourth quarters in this spot. And when you look through the box score, what really jumped out to me, Aaron, here, you got James, he gets 19. You got Luka, he puts up 37. Austin Reeves puts up 16. After that, Hachimura has 9, and no one else who played meaningful minutes scored more than 3 points for a Lakers team, which is going to need some depth scoring. They're not winning many games when they don't put up 100 points. You got to be a little concerned about this Lakers offense, which was supposed to be the juggernaut part of this team.
This was the most surprising one to me, and the one that I would be the most concerned about if you're back in the Lakers here, because you're right. It was kind of just, they got dismantled in a way. And, they were trying to make a little bit of run late in that game. And I thought, okay, we may see a little bit here from the Lakers. And they just kind of got discombobulated offensively. I thought, especially in the fourth quarter and late into the third quarter, it was a lot of standing around one-on-one basketball. And I was just like, man, I don't really like what I see whatsoever. Couldn't really guard him much either. That's kind of the way the NBA is. I'm not overly concerned about that. They'll make adjustments on that end. They've got to figure out what's going on offensively because, like you said, it was a horrific performance. I think there's big concern in LA. You don't want to overreact just one game, but that was, like I said, that wasn't just they snuck by them. Talking about the T-Wolves, they pretty much just destroyed them.
Lakers go from minus 195 favorites in the series. You can now catch the Lakers at plus 125. So big time series movement there after the first win by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, Aaron, we've got a bunch of baseball games at first pitch here around 10:35. The first one on the slate, the White Sox going in to take on the Red Sox. I've got two bets from this one, so I want to make sure we get this in. We're going to have a guest next segment. So I like over 1.5 doubles here for the Red Sox. Sean Burke on the hill for the White Sox. He has really struggled his previous 3 starts, given up 16 hits, 14 earned, has not made it through the 5th inning in any of those starts, and given up 6 doubles. The Red Sox, number 2 in Major League Baseball in doubles for, and this is a great spot to hit them in Boston. So give me over 1.5 doubles there. Did you like anything White Sox, Red Sox?
Yeah, I think that's a really good play. I did not play anything from this game. You know, the price wise, it's really tough to take a side. I would take a prop out of it. And you're right. I do think there's going to be hitting in this game. So I actually really like your play. I'm going to put that in right now. I saw it on the rundown right before we went onto the air. And I thought, you know what? That's a good play. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that's good.
There we go. A little family play to start out the day. White Sox over 1.5 doubles. Let's get it done with those bad White Sox. We are off and running here on a Sunday edition of Ready, Set, Bet. Stick with us. We've got Scott Bondar coming back on the other side, talking Major League Baseball props and NBA props. This is VSiN and Ready, Set, Bet.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
What's going on, everybody? Ready, Set, Bet here on a Sunday. I am Mike Somich. He's Aaron Halterman filling in for Matt Brown, and we are off and running in Oklahoma City, 4-4. Very, very early in this game, 9:15 left here in the first quarter. Shay's already got his first playoff bucket. We'll see what happens here as the Thunder 13.5-point favorites here in game right now. Total sitting at 228.5. So not much movement on the early line here, just 3 minutes into the basketball game, Aaron. And I've got to say here, I appreciate everybody tuning in wherever you are, at home, on the road, or on the go. There's more ways than ever to catch VSiN here. You can stream us live on VSiN.com. You can watch the VSiN Live Watch app. You can catch us on YouTube TV, iHeartRadio, Fire TV, Roku, and on Sirius XM channel 158, as well as all of the terrestrial stations around the U.S. Thank you very much for jumping in and joining us here on this Sunday. And we're excited to have Scott Bondar jump in and join us as well. He is, you can find his work over at Fantasy Guru, and you can find him on X at Scott Bondar. Scott, how is it going? Happy Sunday.
Yeah, hey, it's going on. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter, guys.
I'd say it's always fun when you get some action on Easter here. We've got 4 NBA playoff games. We've got 3 NHL games. We've got a full Major League Baseball slate. And let's start there in Major League Baseball. You're targeting a couple of props here in the MLB, and one of those coming from a San Francisco Giants team that has played very well over the last couple weeks here to start out the season, currently 14-7. They're taking on the Angels today. You've got Justin Verlander on the hill taking on Kikuchi. Verlander struggled here early in the season, but you're looking at a bat from the Giants that you like.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Matt Chapman has kind of found a swing early on the season. Right now, he hit a home run yesterday, and I like him today in a 1.5 total bases against Kikuchi. Career-wise, he's actually taken Kikuchi deep twice, and he has 5 hits and 19 at-bats against him. He definitely pull-heavy guy, loves lefty. So I definitely like Matt Chapman today. 1.5 total bases over.
All right, let's keep it going with MLB, and we'll go another hitter prop for you here. You're looking now to Kansas City for one. Tell us who you like here.
Yeah, I'm going to focus back on that BVP. You got Salvi taking on Skubal, and 30 career at-bats. He has 4 home runs off this guy, 11 hits. I think, career-wise, the 200 ISO against lefties. I like Salvi today with a plus 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs over. That's going to basically be one swing, and he's going to take care of that prop for us. I do like the upside. Otherwise, with Salvi the rest of the day, if you're going to take a home run prop, I think it's plus 375 too. So you have the odds are in our favor for Salvi to go deep against Skubal.
Yeah, Salvador Perez has been off to a pretty good start here for this Royals team. Now, just to ask you, I know you mentioned it here. We've got Skubal on the hill, reigning Cy Young there in the AL. Is this something that do you like targeting very good pitchers if the matchup is right? Generally, you're going to get a little bit better of a price against this top tier of a pitcher on those prop plays. Are you usually looking for good pitchers against good hitters, or are you generally just looking for any type of advantage you can find?
Well, I like to look at the history. I mean, especially someone that has a lot of plate appearances against somebody. The catchers, for example, are guys that are obviously going to see most pitchers when they're, more often than not. So I definitely like looking at the history wise, regardless of who's on the mound. Salvi has just been, killing this guy when it comes to get the at bats against them. So that's what I'm primarily looking at. Now, the guys on the rest of the team, like a Bobby Witt, I'm not interested in kind of using him. I think it's just, Skubal is going to probably have his 7-8 strikeouts. So I don't imagine using anybody else on Kansas City, and only if they have like that solid history like Perez has.
All right, one more player prop here for Major League Baseball today. You're going to go to Texas for that Texas-LA game. Tell us who you like there.
Yeah, I mean, another bat that seems to kind of got a swing. A little bit injury last year. He's kind of getting healthy, I think. Corey Seager, over 1.5 total bases. Taking on Tyler Glasgow, another guy that, we have a lot of high upside on strikeouts, but he does have 40 of his 86 home runs against lefties. Righties. I'm sorry. And he is hitting 318 on the season. So I think, a guy that has a chance to hit multiple bases here today is Corey Seager. I believe he went deep 2 days ago too. So he's kind of heating up. So I like him in that matchup.
All right, let's transition over to the hardwood here. The Celtics start their title defense against the Magic this afternoon. Tip is at 3:30 Eastern. The Celtics currently laying 12.5, total sitting at 205.5. You're going back to player props here. Who do you like in this spot between the Magic and the Celtics?
Yeah, so I think the key here in this prop is whether or not Jaylen Brown is going to be limited, but I do like Jason Tatum over 3.5 made threes. He attempts around 10 3-pointers per game. He actually hit 4 earlier against the Magic earlier in the season. So if you watch these playoffs or any Boston at all, they live and die by the 3. So I imagine we're going to be a couple deep balls from Tatum today. We'll get us over that prop. 3.5 is what I like in this game today.
And one more from the NBA. You're going to go to Cleveland, and that place is going to be rocking today. The number 1 seed in the East there with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got a player prop from them. Who do you like from the Cavs today?
So in this one, Darius Garland, I think with the 12.5 point difference, I think they're going to probably limit Donovan Mitchell as much as possible, especially if they get an early out lead. Darius Garland scored 18 plus points, 65% of the games this season against Miami's defense, which is one of the middle of the pack against the guards. I think 17.5 over is where I'm going to take Darius Garland today. He should be fine in getting that, especially if Mitchell is limited, like I expect, since this game should be out of reach, I'd imagine.
Now, with the NBA playoffs tipping off in full here, you've got the Celtics, who are the favorites. You've got the Thunder sitting there right at this very similar price to the Celtics, and then a pretty big gap back to the Cavs. Who do you think ends up winning the whole thing here in the NBA?
And in East or just overall?
Overall, who lifts the trophy?
Oh, man. In my heart, I would like to see the Oklahoma City Thunder, just because it's one of those franchises that has just basically been back and forth, up and down for the years, and they finally seem to be clicking this year. I do think it's probably Boston again. I mean, their ability to shoot threes and the fact that they've kind of had that team gelled completely the last 2-3 years finally, I think they go back-to-back.
He's Scott Bondar joining us here on the Progressive Guest Line. You can find his work over at Fantasy Guru. You can follow him on X at Scott Bondar. Scott, thank you very much for the time here. We'll track these props. Hopefully get some winners home.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Again, happy Easter. Have a good weekend.
I love the player props, Aaron. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Sometimes if you can't find a side you like, it's fun to look for those props. And you've got a ton of baseball on the slate today that you can try and find some more in. Let's talk about a couple games that we did play here that are starting on the 10:35 block as well. The Guardians taking on the Pirates today. You've got Logan Allen on the hill for the Guardians, Mitch Keller on the hill for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Right now, the Pirates short favorites, -125. Total sitting at 8 with some juice to the over there. What do you like in this spot, Aaron?
I actually like the Guardians a little bit in this spot. That -105, and now you can get them at a plus money price. They were -105 this morning, now plus 110. I think the pitching matchup is just right today. With Allen on the mound, I really like that. And we kind of talked about the Pirates yesterday, and we played an under. At least I played an under for the first 5, and the Pirates just can't hit. And it's just that simple. They've got a pitcher like Skeens who got beat yesterday. Why? Because they just cannot hit the ball. So Cleveland's starting to play well. They started off a little bit slow. Now they're playing well. So I'm going to back Cleveland today. Plus number price just makes sense on the road here against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I like Logan Allen as a pitcher. He's one of those guys that kind of flies under the radar. He's one of those sub 50% used guys in fantasy baseball that I think he's worth picking up if he is sitting on your waiver wire there. And I think Mitch Keller is good, but he's been up and down so far this year to start out the season. I played the under 4.5 first 5 here. You mentioned it. The Pirates bats have been struggling. I think Logan Allen is a good matchup there. And I just need Keller to get through 5, giving up like 2. And we should be just fine here. So give me the first 5 under 4.5 here for the Guardians and the Pirates. You look a little bit further down the slate, and we've got the Marlins going in to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Jesus Luzardo, someone we've talked a lot about on this show, one of your early Cy Young favorites, or players that's getting bet, I should say, in the Cy Young here for the Philadelphia Phillies, taking on Connor Gillespie for the Marlins. You've got a player prop here. Who do you like in this Phillies-Marlins game?
First of all, super mad at the Phillies after blowing that yesterday. I had them -1.5. They give up 6 runs in the 9th inning to win 11-10. So Phillies so upset with you. But, we had Colby Marcio on yesterday, and he talked about player props. I thought he made a lot of sense with some of the things that he said and some of the ideas he had. So I went Luzardo over 6.5 Ks here. This is a guy I've always backed. When he was with the Marlins, I thought he did a great job. And then, here with with Philadelphia, I really think this was a great pickup for them. So Luzardo over 6.5 Ks. I think that's the play today. You can't really play a side because, the prices are just too stacked. So give me Luzardo over 6.5 Ks.
Yeah, I put in a little pizza fun bet here, so I have some sweat on these early games. I took the Red Sox, Tigers, and Phillies and put all 3 together in a first 5 money line parlay. You can get that at plus 180. I like the Red Sox quite a bit. We talked about them in the first segment of the show. The Phillies, I think, are a nice setup here as well, and the Tigers with Skubal on the mound, I think, take care of business too. Again, plus 180 if you want to go Red Sox, Tigers, Philly, first 5 money line parlay. Stick with us here. We've got pucks and ponies on the other side of Ready, Set, Bet.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back in here. Sunday edition of Ready, Set, Bet. The playoffs are off and running. We had 6 different series kick off yesterday. We're going to have 7 more tip off and drop the puck today. Right now, we've got one going on in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City up 19-15 early in the game, about 2:54 left in the first quarter. Right now, Oklahoma City 15.5 point favorites in game. Totals dropped down to 223.5. So that's good news for you, Aaron, sitting on that under 231.5. And some struggles from the field early in this game. Combined 1 for 13 from 3-point range. Neither team shooting better than 39% from the field, Aaron. So slow start here in the Thunder Grizzlies game.
Yeah, it's good for under players for sure. We were kind of talking on the break. Maybe the noon tip off here locally at Oklahoma City, maybe that has a little bit something to do with kind of an early game. But just not shooting the ball well, which is something you just don't expect from Oklahoma City. We'll see if that trend continues. But as of right now, the under does look very good.
Yeah, we heard Scott Seidenberg talking about that on the previous show, mentioning that the trends toward the under in these early tips in the NBA. We saw it yesterday where that game ends up going under. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well here in the Grizzlies Thunder game. Now we've got a couple more baseball games. First pitch here. Next one up that you've got to play in, the Cardinals taking on the Mets. Sonny Gray on the hill for the Cardinals. Clay Holmes for the Mets. Mets a minus 148 favorite. The total sitting at a paltry 7 here, Aaron. What are you going with?
I went under 3.5 the first 5. So I do think this is going to be a low scoring game. And why would I think that? Well, the Cardinals can't hit anybody. So there's a start to it right now. That lineup is just putrid right now. It was bad again yesterday. It was bad in the first couple of games as well. It's really been bad all year. Clay Holmes on the mound for the Mets. And you might go, he's a reliever, right? No, he's a starter for the Mets this year. He's been okay. He's been a little surprising, to be honest. So really like that out of him. And then the Cardinals, the one bright spot really for the Cardinals, Sonny Gray has been fantastic, and especially through 5 innings. He's been very good. He is a pitcher. Once you get through 5, maybe 6 innings, 7th inning, he'll start to give up some hits if he lasts that long. But I think for 5, this makes sense. So give me under 3.5 here.
Yeah, Clay Holmes, you mentioned it, was a reliever last year for the Yankees. Now he's a starter for the Mets. And in 15 innings this month, he's struck out 24 batters. So he's not going to go very deep in games. So I agree with you. If you're targeting something like the under here, if you like the Mets, I would be focusing on first 5 versus full game, because that's what you're guaranteed to get from Clay Holmes. Highly unlikely he ends up going 6, 7, or 8 innings in this spot. Now, we had 2 NHL playoff games last night. We got to talk about those real quick. We'll start out with good news. The Avs rolled the Stars after a 0-0 first period. They really edge of a big second, 1 goal early, a 4-minute minor on a ball against McKinnon.
I'm going to take over there. Somich kind of losing him. He was talking about the Avalanche and what happened with them. It was a great game from them. In the second and third periods, they were a team that just absolutely took over that thing. So, you kind of just look at what happens there. The first period, the Stars kind of dominated things as far as the pace of the play and what we wanted to see from them. The second and third period, it was all Colorado. They really got to their game. And I thought the big thing, and I know Mike was going to get ready to talk about this, the big thing was with Colorado, Mackenzie Blackwood. He was fantastic. The goalie that had not a lot of playoff experience, he was absolutely fantastic in this game. So very impressed with Mackenzie Blackwood. That second period and even the third period, I thought he held on and did very, very well for the Avalanche. So big time win for them to get up 5-1 and win that game. It was probably a little bit closer than that score wise. With Colorado there, it kind of felt more like a 2-1, 3-1 type of game that got away late. So super impressed with them. And then the Blues, if we're going to recap the other game, the St. Louis Blues, our Blues, Somich and I here, a 5-3 victory for the Jets. Very disappointing. The Blues were ahead 3-2 going into the third period. And then it looked like the youth of the St. Louis Blues, which we were worried about, it really caught up with them. Winnipeg pushed hard in the third period. The Blues got 2 shots in the third period. You cannot win games getting 2 shots. And the Jets win 5-3. And I think we got Somich back.
Yeah, that was a bummer, Aaron. I'm not going to lie. We talked about the Pistons earlier, their opportunity to steal game 1 at the Knicks. The Blues had an opportunity to steal game 1 there against the Jets. And you just saw the youth on St. Louis as that game progressed. The speed of the game really got caught up to them. And Connor Hellebuck gives up 3 goals. I actually think he played fairly well. All 3 goals he really didn't have much of a chance with. All 3 were top shelf, just picking corners by the Blues. So excited to see what we get from St. Louis in game 2, but Winnipeg did look like the Winnipeg we saw during the regular season.
Unfortunately, they did. Yeah. And like I was saying, we felt like we were in it. We felt like we were in good shape. And I just really think, and we talked about it off air a little bit as well yesterday, our young guys in that third period, I don't think they were ready for that push that they were going to get inevitably from the team that's behind and at home with Winnipeg. But I'm with you. I'm cautiously optimistic we're going to be in this series, but we got to step it up. Our young guys got to play better.
Well, we got more NHL coming up today with 3 more series starting. So let's head out to the ice and talk about our best bets.
Technical regulation size are what? It's time to ask Mike Somich, what the
Don't you ever touch my pucks!
Our first puck drop of the day going to be at 3:10 Eastern, 12:10 Pacific, out in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Hurricanes taking on the Devils, and this is going to be a trend for me in this series. I'm going to go under in the first period here, so we'll take under a goal and a half, -120 Hurricanes, Devils in that first period. Devils are the best team in the NHL for first period unders when on the road, and this is a Hurricanes team that has struggled to score in the past. They create a lot of opportunities, but not a lot of quality chances. I think this is going to be a very tight checking game early. So give me the under first period, Devils and Hurricanes here, Aaron.
I don't like it. I love it. I think that is a great play there. I think you're right about that. Yesterday we were dead wrong with what we talked about with the Blues in Winnipeg, but I wouldn't overreact to that. I think things will settle down, and I still think that's going to be an under series. And I think this one's going to be an under series as well. You've got a Devils team that absolutely needs to play defensive without a lot of scoring depth. So I think they're going to do that. Good goaltending on really both sides of this thing. And we've seen it. Carolina likes to play defensive style of hockey as well. So good pick, Somich. Way to get us going on the right foot.
Well, I like your pick as well. The late game here, the Minnesota Wild taking on Las Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas been very good at home. Who do you like here in this spot?
Yeah, give me Vegas minus a goal and a half here to get to that plus number. It's plus 130, plus 140, no matter, or depending on where you look at it. Look, they were the best team in the regular season when laying a goal and a half. Talking about the Vegas Golden Knights, they were money all season long when doing so, especially at home. They were so good at home when laying a goal and a half. And of course, they're home here. Look, here's the deal. I just feel like the Knights are better in every position than Minnesota. Minnesota kind of snuck into the playoffs here late. I know they were good, early in the season with a lot of injuries there that really kind of fell apart for them. Some of those guys are back, but can they gel together quickly enough to take on a juggernaut really in Vegas? I don't think so. I love the plus number. Give me the Golden Knights, lay the goal and a half.
Yeah, I laid the goal and a half with the Knights as well. Very good empty net team, too, which matters a lot in the playoffs. I also like Tomas Hertl, plus 700 to lead that series in goals. Now, before we head over to the track, make sure you head over to firstbet.com. Firstbet has you covered with everything horse racing. You can sign up to access exclusive promotions and bet on hundreds of thrilling horse races every day, right on your phone or computer with live video included inside the app. Visit firstbet.com. That's the number one, STBET.com, and use promo code VSIN200 to score a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days, win or lose, up to $200. Don't miss out. Start betting today over at firstbet.com. Now let's head over to the track.
Saddle up, partner.
Want to bet the horses with Mike Somich?
When I bet on horses, I never lose. Why? I bet on all the horses.
It's time to pony up.
Giddy up.
And we are going to cover two first bet tracks today, Aaron. Look at that synergy. We'll start out with your pick coming up from Santa Anita.
Well, they're the only tracks running, right? So we got to do it. Okay, let's go to Santa Anita. Race 3 on the card today. I'm going to go with a daily double, which means I got to pick the winner right at the third race and the fourth race today at Santa Anita. So race 3, I'm going to start off just using the number 5 Hothead, a horse that won at this distance last time out very, very impressively. So I think he gets the job done. Don't have to worry about him. We're going to go over to Santa Anita race 4, where I'm going to use 2 horses in the second leg. I'm going to use the number 4 Final Storm, a horse that is running third time off the layoff. That's usually when we see horses run their best races after they've had a little bit of break. We get that third race off the layoff. And I'm also going to use the number 7 Mises Express. This is a horse last time out, ran very well at this level, runs first off the claim today for a brand new trainer. I like that angle as well. I think these 2 horses get out to the front and kind of try to take this field gate to wire. So give me race 3, number 5 with the 4 and the 7 in race 4.
I'm going to head over to Gulfstream Park, and I'm going to go to the last race of the day, the race number 10. We're going a mile on the turf here, and I love it when horses stretch out and show speed from the rail, and that's what we've got with number 1, I Never Lie here. 7-2 on the morning line for Brennan Walsh. This horse should be able to get to the lead. I love being up front on that Gulfstream Park turf, so give me the number 1, I Never Lie, 7-2 in the 10th race at Gulfstream. For Aaron, he's going with Santa Anita race number 3, daily double, 5 with 4-7. And Aaron, coming back on the other side, you get to get dominated in another draft, this time in the NHL. We're going to pick our favorites for the Stanley Cup. Stay with us here on Ready, Set, Bet.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back in here, Ready, Set, Bet, Sunday, Easter edition. Happy Easter, everyone out there who celebrates. Happy Sunday to everyone who doesn't here. And Aaron, you mentioned it. We might start seeing somebody score in this Grizzlies-Thunder game, and it was the Thunder. They have absolutely put it on the Grizzlies here late in the first quarter, early in the second. Oklahoma City 39, Memphis 22 with 10 minutes and 37 seconds left in the second quarter. Oklahoma City now minus 22.5 in-game. The total right back to where we started, sitting at 230.5. I'll give you 20-1 on the Grizzlies if you think they can come back to win, Aaron.
No, thank you. I will not be doing that at all. You tried to tempt me all show with the Bucks yesterday. I didn't take it. I'm not taking the Grizzlies here. That's what OKC can do. And then they go on a run and you feel like, whoa, it was a 3-point game and now it's a 12-point game. And just in a blink of an eye. So not a real surprise there. We'll see how this over-under trends, as we kind of are going to assume, at least I'm assuming, this game might stay out of hand for a while, if not the whole time.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to if the Grizzlies are able to kind of cut it down here. Again, first game for the Grizzlies in this series, and Oklahoma City excited to get the playoffs going as your favorite in the NBA and the number one overall seed. Now, if you're looking for picks from the NBA playoffs, the NBA Killer Sports Challenge is here over at VSiN.com. We've invited 15 of the sharpest minds from the world of VSiN and Killer Sports to go head-to-head, making 38 picks each in the playoffs through the NBA Finals. It's almost 600 total picks, all available over at the VSiN Pro page or VSiN Picks page for VSiN Pro subscribers. Picks are locked in 1 hour before the first game of the day, so you got plenty of time to get them to your account as well. And right now, you can access the full VSiN Pro access through August 1st for just $59. So head over to VSiN.com/subscribe. Get everything we do for $59. And that includes all of the draft coverage as well, Aaron. And you know I love drafts. We did one yesterday. I was able to blow you out of the water on the NBA side. I figured let's go to your favorite sport, and mine as well, to be honest. Let's go to hockey, right? So let's do a little Stanley Cup draft here with the current odds listed as who we think can win the title. Since I gave you first pick yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take first pick today. And I have a feeling I'm going to take the team off the board that you want as well. Give me the Vegas Golden Knights at 10-1 here. I've talked about this Vegas team for the last couple weeks. I love what they're able to do up front from a depth perspective. Defensively, they can roll three pairings that are all very good. Aiden Hills played very well in the playoffs as well. This is, to me, the most complete team, and they don't have to face the same level of competition you're going to see on the other side of the bracket in the West. You've got the Avs taking on the Stars, and the winner of that after last night looks like they might play the Winnipeg Jets. Those are three very good hockey teams. The Vegas Golden Knights gets the winner of the Kings Oilers, who I just am not as high on as the teams on the other side of the bracket. So give me the Vegas Golden Knights here to come out of the West and lift the Stanley Cup at 10-1 to kick off the draft, Aaron.
Great pick. Can't have anything negative to say. A very good start, and a very good start to your draft, unlike yesterday where you let me have the Celtics and the Thunder. I don't know why you're doing. Anyway, good pick here with Vegas. All right, I'll get to mine, and we'll talk about the team that won last night. The Colorado Avalanche are going to be my second pick here. And look, I was very impressed. And look, the 5-1 to score is kind of misleading. This game was more like a 2-1, 3-1 type of game. But the big thing for me, and the thing that really stood out, and the big question mark we had with Colorado, what would Mackenzie Blackwood look like in net? He's been a good goalie for them, but he's never really played in a huge game. He was great. I thought he won that game for them last night at times. It's odd to say because the game was 5-1, but when you really watch that, Dallas made a big push in the second period and third period, and Blackwood shut the door. If they get goaltending like that, they're going to be tough. I love Vegas, but Colorado can beat them if they get goaltending like that. So they're going to be the second pick for me, or the second pick for me, third pick overall, I should say, will be Carolina out of the East. So I debated taking another West team here, but I'm going to go Carolina Hurricanes out of the East. Why? Because similar to your kind of pick with Vegas, I think Carolina's got the easiest road to get there. You're going to have to beat a Devils team that I don't think's all that great. You're probably going to have to beat the Capitals. I'm not worried about that so much. And then you're kind of getting what I think will be a tired team, whether that's Toronto, whether that's the Lightning, or whether that's Florida in the East Finals. Now, do I think they can actually, beat a team out of the West? Yeah, I think that's iffy, but I like Carolina's path. I'll take them at number 3.
Yeah, I love the Avs pick there, too. That's another team that I've gotten a futures ticket. And you heard Pete DeBoer after the game say not only is this a deeper Avs team this year, but they also have Blackwood. And Mackenzie Blackwood, a big addition there in goal, really fills out this Colorado team. It's scary when they win games defensively and with goaltending because we know that offense is eventually going to get going. So I like the second pick. Third pick's terrible. Canes aren't going to win it. Happy you took them. I was never taking them. I am going to take two teams in the East, however, that are playing each other. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning here at 9-1 with my third pick in the draft, fourth overall. I love this Lightning team. They have the best plus minus in the NHL. They've got the most goals for, least goals against in the Eastern Conference. They've also got the number 2 the power play in the NHL, and you've got a team that has been there before. So I love this Lightning team this year. I've got them losing to Vegas in my finals pick. And then give me the Florida Panthers, because I think these are easily the best two teams in the East. So if the Panthers are able to get past the Lightning, that means that Tkachuk is healthy. That means this team found their game again after a late slide in the season. And all of a sudden that 8-1 price looks a lot better. So I'm guaranteeing myself one of my two teams basically halves in price after this first round matchup, because whoever wins between the Panthers and the Lightnings is going to be your favorite out of the East, Aaron.
Two fantastic picks. I can't make fun of either one of those picks, Somich. I agree wholeheartedly. And in a draft like this, that's what you want. You want to get those two teams. We're kind of like, hey, you like Tampa, a little bit more than I do, but I kind of think it's more of a toss-up. But we both kind of agree the winner of that series. Look out. All right, let's get on, though, to the team that was, I thought, very impressive in the third period last night, and that's the Winnipeg Jets. I'll take them next at number 6 here. Look, I through two periods, I was kind of texting people like, these Jets, I don't know. They don't look all that great. They turned it on in a big, big way. So in that third period, and they kind of made the Blues look, let's just face it, not very good in that period. So give me Winnipeg. I know the road's tough, but any road to the West is fairly tricky. But I like the Jets quite a bit after that game. And then for pick number 7, I'm going to go the Dallas Stars. And here's why. 20-1 seems like too big of a price to me. Now, if they were their original price before they lost last night, okay, maybe not, but 20-1, let's not quite overreact, because here's the deal. They peppered Blackwood in the late second, third period, and he just stood on his head. If he kind of comes back to earth a little bit, I still think Dallas has a shot. So give me the Dallas Stars because of that 20-1. I think they're worth the play. And let's not forget, they lost the first 2 games against Vegas in the first round last year, and then were able to get all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So I'll take the Stars at number 7.
Yeah, I don't hate the Stars at that inflated number. Injury concerns there for Dallas, but the inflated number makes it playable. However, I want to thank you, Aaron, for allowing the Los Angeles Kings to slip all the way down to number 8 in this draft. I actually bet the Kings to win the Cup at 18-1 yesterday. I'm getting them here with the 8th pick in the draft at 18-1 today. We're going to talk about this LA Edmonton series a little bit later. I think the Kings get through this series as dogs. They're 17-4 in their last 21 games that actually mattered. Not going to count the last game there. And they've been one of the best, if not the best teams on home ice throughout the entire NHL season. I think the Kings at 18-1, a phenomenal price there. And then because I have to, I don't really like anyone else on the board. Give me the Capitals at 11-1. The number 1 seed in the East goes in the 9th pick in the draft here, even though they are on the bottom half of the board. That kind of tells you what the gambling world thinks of this Washington Capitals team, Aaron.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. I probably would have taken them if you didn't. But again, it's kind of yeah, we'll take them now because they're here. And that's kind of going to be with the theme for my last pick as well. And everybody in the world can laugh. You can laugh. Give me the Maple Leafs. I just think, look, listen, now hear me out. Hear me out now, Somich.
I will laugh.
Okay. All right, well, that's fine. And look, I didn't take them 1 or anything like that, right? Their path to this thing is not that difficult. And here's why. Okay, they got to beat Ottawa. They should do that, right? What if that Lightning Florida game, it goes 7, it's a physical series, and those two teams are exhausted? They might catch a team that might not absolutely be at their best out of those two. And then all of a sudden, they could make the Stanley Cup Finals. They've got the firepower. I like Berube. They hired Berube in the offseason. He's going to bring toughness. At least that's the hope. They're going to bring toughness to this team. And one last thing, and this is the biggest thing because I know my wife is listening right now. Back in January, Heather, my wife, bet the Leafs at 13-1 to win the Stanley Cup. Bet $100 on them. Her only future wager ever. So I've got to take them because we are a Leafs household as long as they keep winning. And if not, we'll just toss them aside. So, yeah, give me the Leafs for the final pick.
There we go. Drinks on Heather if the Leafs finally able to break this curse here. Let's recap the teams real quick. I have the Golden Knights at 10-1, the Lightning at 9-1, the Panthers at 8-1, the Kings at 18-1, and the Capitals at 11-1. Aaron decided to take the Avs at 6-1, the Hurricanes 9-1, the Jets 8-1, the Stars 20-1, and the Leafs at 10-1. Now, make sure you stick with us here on VSiN throughout this entire week because the draft for the NFL is almost here and every single pick matters. VSiN's breaking it all down from a bettor's perspective, from draft odds to team needs to players breakdown. Everything you need is over at the VSiN Watch app. Make sure you check it out here for the NFL draft. We're going to talk quite a bit about that. We've got a couple guests coming up later. On the other side, we'll recap what's going on in the NBA, Major League Baseball, and we will talk a little bit more about these NBA series tipping off today.